Good evening once again. Welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. Let's have a look at the headlines. President Yoweri Museveni invites elected independent MPs to NRM's Chankwanzi retreat. NRM MPs seeking to contest for EALA have started picking forms. Trade order takes effect in Moroto municipality as mayor wants exercise suspended. While in sport, FIFA sounds strong warning ahead of World Cup. Yes, it's me, Michael Jordan Lukomwa, with Elizabeth Nakakuni, our sign language interpreter, and this is what we have for you this time round. President Yoweri Museveni has invited independent members of parliament-elect to be part of the forthcoming Chankwanzi retreat, slated for April 7th to the 14th. The directive was revealed by the NRM National Treasurer, Barbara Nekesa, as the independent MPs returned their forms expressing interest to work with the ruling party.
Anita Among led 30 MPs elect who are independents to the NRM Secretariat to return forms expressing interest to work with the NRM. The Speaker says independent MPs will participate and benefit from all affairs of NRM.
If it is in leadership, we will equally give leadership to the independents. We have slots assigned to independents. So you should know you are in the right place. You are at home.
The Speaker also urged the NRM legal team to support those independents who have election-related court matters.
Now that these people are signing up with you, these people are part of us. Some of them have cases. You should not harass them because they are our people.
Meanwhile, NRM National Treasurer Barbara Nekesa says the President has invited the independent MPs to the Chankwanzi retreat.
The President has communicated her proposition of having independent members of Parliament invited to Chankwanzi. We have already received a formal directive from the Chairman instructing us to incorporate the independent members of Parliament elect as categories that will be attending the retreat at Chankwanzi.
It is within the legal framework for an independent MP or any party to sign an MOU to work with the ruling party.
By the way, even members of the opposition can cooperate. Even if they are in the opposition, they can find areas of cooperation with the majority in the House. So that is not a big issue. It is a question of having a memorandum of understanding and having the clear grounds upon which you cooperate and upon which you understand each other.
Independent MPs will be presented to the National Chairman, President Museveni, during the Chankwanzi retreat in April to sign an MOU after swearing in May. Lydia Chomkama for UBC News.
The NRM Electoral Commission Chairman, Dr. Tanga Odoi, has announced the commencement of picking of forms of interest by party members that are seeking to fill the 2 East African Legislative Assembly vacant slots. Odoi told the media that the exercise commencing Monday, 23rd March, will close on Wednesday, 25th March.
In 2022, Parliament elected NRM members James Kakoza and Dens Namara as part of Uganda's representation team to the East African Legislative Assembly EALA.
That we've done our best under Uganda.
However, following the election to Parliament of Uganda in the 2026 general elections, the duo now ceases to represent Uganda and their party, thus calling for by-election.
Want to be eligible to contest in NRM primaries for Member of Parliament to the East African Legislative Assembly, that person, those people, must have the following minimum qualifications. First, they must be Ugandan citizen. 2, 18 years and above. 3, must be a member of the NRM party.
While addressing media this Monday afternoon from the NRM Electoral Commission offices in Kampala, the 6-member panel announced a short program kicking off on Monday 23rd March 2026 to replace the duo.
Expression of interest starts today, Monday 23rd, 2026, and ends on Wednesday, the 25th March, 2026 at 5 p.m. Nomination of candidates shall be on Wednesday, 25th March, 2026. We shall also start at 9 and end at 5.
According to the NRM Electoral Commission Chairperson Dr. Tango Doi, voting will be only limited to members serving their term in the 11th Parliament.
The voters will be all NRM members of the 11th Parliament. The new MPs will be members of Parliament of the 12th Parliament. The members who were the Electoral College then in 2022 were members of the 11th Parliament. So since these members were elected then, the same college that elected them is the same college we are going to use.
Parliament has set 30th and 31st for nominations on the slots, as well as 14th April 2026 as voting dates. The NRM Central Executive Committee and Parliamentary Caucus will also convene on Thursday 26th and Friday 27th to approve the candidates.
Because we must present these names to SEC. If it is called on Thursday, we shall present to SEC. Caucus has been called for Friday. Parliamentary caucus. And if parliamentary caucus is to vote, these members will be voted in the parliamentary caucus of Friday. So we don't have time. The NRM Electoral Commission shall appoint a date, time, and place for election of the candidate.
Further, pending national and local council elections, the NRM party is preparing flag-bearer baskets, ready as the Electoral Commission sets election days.
We got our flag bearers on 6th May 2025. Some have since died. Some could have got gainful employment. Others may have joined other political parties. So we are doing a verification right now.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The party chairman.
Minister of State for Labour and Industrial Relations, Esther Nyakun, has confirmed that Ajok Vicky, the Ugandan housemaid accused of killing her Syrian boss, is still alive, with negotiations for her extradition ongoing. The Uganda's embassy in Cairo engaged human rights organizations in discussions with Syrian authorities for a diplomatic rescue.
Because she told me that, Vicky, don't pick anything in Mbarara, you have already poisoned.
Vicky Ajok, a 33-year-old mother of two from Opaya village in Bobisabu County, Omoro district, traveled to Syria in September 2025 for better job opportunities. She was later employed as a domestic worker, but was arrested in Damascus on January 29, 2026, accused of murdering her 87-year-old employer, Huda Sharawi.
Forgive me, because what I did not even need. I don't know what came over me.
Reports later emerged in February claiming she was to be executed, information later dismissed by the Syrian ambassador to Uganda, Dr. Tamu Mustafa, who clarified that legal proceedings were still ongoing. Responding to Ajok's status, Uganda's State Minister for Labour Esther Anyakun has told the media that Ajok is still alive and negotiations are ongoing for her extradition to Uganda. Anyakuni says Syrian authorities were engaged using human rights organizations and Amnesty International.
The girl in Syria is still alive. Our embassy from Cairo managed to get in contact with organizations, human rights organizations, including Amnesty International. They have been negotiating for her as Minister of Gender. Now we have to take it to Ministry of Foreign Affairs to use their diplomatic ways to have this girl come back home.
Anyakun is also concerned over briefcase labor export companies luring unsuspecting Ugandans into risky jobs in the Middle East.
So the briefcase companies, it's true. So they are not authorized to take our people. And we have formed a place in our ministry, there's a platform, there's a floor, where we have asked our people, even the website, for them to be able to check the company that is advertising to take you in the system, or even come to the Ministry of Gender. Before they take you, The girl who is in Syria suffered the same.
The ministry remains in contact with Ugandans stranded in the Middle East. Anyakuni also says the ministry is also hosting National Labour Convention in April this year, where companies, institutions will tell Ugandans how many job opportunities for Ugandans are in their pool.
The convention is very, very important because why am I saying this? It creates opportunities, it opens up. Some people don't have information. The employers, the bankers, the institutions, all of them are going to be showcasing what they have. And they're going to tell us as the Minister of Gender how many employments opportunities are they creating each year.
Crispus Arinitwe reporting for UBC.
Moroto municipality illegal structures demolishing exercise turned dramatic after Moroto outgoing mayor wanted the exercise suspended after finding his own container being demolished. We have details to this.
The implementation of trade order in Moroto municipality started early with the demolition of containers along Leah Street in North Division after the elapse of a 2-week notice. It required traders to voluntarily vacate streets and remove kiosks in illegal premises. Traders who had not complied evacuated their merchandise when demolition exercise started. A law enforcement officer at Moroto Municipal Council, Fred Obalim, who had a container since 2006, complied.
Without even giving people some time, at least for preparation. The thing was...
But Moroto Municipality outgoing mayor protested when his wheel loader was unroofing his container. He and other traders wanted the exercise suspended.
Said suspend the operation. Should anybody go to my people, I want to tell my people, Moroto, be ready to fight. Wow. And fight, die in the battle.
They proceeded next to bus terminal mayor, who ordered the wheel loader driver to leave the scene. He stood in front of it to stop it from proceeding with the demolition. Mayor Mohammed called upon people to get pangas and guns to fight, but some leaders were not happy with the statement.
Issues of pangas, oars, it will not work when it comes to development.
Traders were cheering him up that Karamoja is still a village to implement such orders, and people have used PDM money in business. Some leaders welcomed the trade order.
We are supposed to move, but why don't you give us time? People have small loans, people are trying to survive very hard ways. And you know Karamoja is a place that has just come out of this. Sure, yeah. Why should you make us have these hearts of hatred?
Since we need a city, we need Moroto to be clean. And we need people to start building, planning structures which can really look like it is a town. You look at now, new districts which have just started, they are developing than Moroto, which is the mother district. So I really appreciate the idea of the town club.
Exercise is not stopping. We are not stopping the exercise. That's why you see we are now in South Division. But the good news is that people from this division have complied. 80% have complied.
South Division chairperson asked for more time for the traders, which town clerk Eyero agreed upon.
So as Moroto, we are adopting urban characteristics at the national microcosm. But for the trade order, it is okay.
Send to requests for, like you see this man here with this structure. Said we give him up to the end of the date.
The trade order was guidance from the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Local Government, Ben Kumumanya, to all municipality and city leaders. Crispus Arinitwe, Maureen Iga, reporting for UBC.
The People's Front for Freedom, PFF, Buganda Deputy Chairperson, Dr. Michael Lulu Mebaiga, has questioned provisions in the upcoming village council elections, arguing that they raise concern about transparency and fairness. He also said that presence of military personnel in the city causes panic among citizens.
Recently, the Electoral Commission and the Ministry of Local Government announced the preparations for LOC1 and LOC2 village chairperson elections. The president also directed the allocation of Ugandan shillings 56 billion to facilitate the exercise. But the People's Front for Freedom Party is concerned about the president's directive.
That Museveni ordered the release of funds for the Electoral Commission to organize LC1 elections means that the institution, which is supposed to be independent and with its budget appropriated by Parliament, could not proceed with its program until the president orders it.
The party demands the Electoral Commission issues clear guidelines for the LOC1 and the LOC2 elections.
There were certain guidelines which were published recently, which were not very clear. The Electoral Commission claimed that to be on the village council register, you must be in the National Voters Register. And to register as a voter in your village council, you must possess a national identity card. There are some youths who have attained the age of the majority, 18 years, and therefore they are eligible voters. But they neither have an identity card nor have they started processing it. And they're going to be eligible voters.
Meanwhile, the People's Front for Freedom Buganda Vice Chairman Dr. Michael Lulumebayiga, on behalf of the party, asked government and security agencies to explain the deployment of military personnel in Kampala city.
Citizens, however, deserve the right to know the purpose for the heavy military deployment, the heavy presence of the military, and why they should search their vehicles, and what they are looking for exactly. You see them stopping vehicles, causing unnecessary traffic jam, undue policing, causing anxiety, and without necessarily explaining what exactly they are looking for.
PFF also condemned the rampant evictions of people through implementing the trade order.
We are seeing most of the towns being having operations of evicting people from their workspaces. We respect the responsibility of local governments to have trade order and to organize communities. But we must also be sensitive that these hardworking people work to earn a living. They are not thieves and they are not beggars. They want to earn from their sweat.
The party also revealed the plans of giving women an opportunity to tell their stories through articles to be published in a magazine on 6th April.
If you're a woman, please, this is an opportunity that PFF is granting you. Your story can be political, your story can be economic, your story can also be a social story. Come out and tell us how your life has been.
I'm Waivan Juko for UBC.
The judiciary has welcomed an initiative that strengthens families and addresses the rising number of cases in the Family Division Court. This was during the launch of a series of books focusing on marriage, relationships, and responsible family living, and among them is the Naked Truth Part 2 book by the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, Dr. Pius Bigirimana.
Efforts to strengthen families and reduce the growing number of cases in Uganda's family division have received a boost following the launch of a series of books focusing on marriage, relationships, and responsible living. This follows the launch of the Naked Truth Part 2 book, authored by the Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, Dr. Pius Bigirimana. The Chief Justice, Dr. Flavian Zaijan, held the initiative that seeks to restore family values.
The tragic results of broken homes are everywhere. At the bench, we all see it in the rising rates of divorce, in the bitter battles over custody of children, in the family inheritance and succession battles. Argues and I concur that the security of the state begins at the fireplace of the home. If the intimacy and spiritual interconnectedness of a marriage are fractured, the pillars of our nation tremble.
He said many parents have limited time to guide their children, making such publications timely and necessary.
To write about Naked Truth and now release part 2 of the same book requires a bravery that the men in high offices shy away from. But as the author has reminded us before, it is the things we refuse to discuss in the light that eventually destroy us in the dark.
The author, also Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary, Dr. Pius Bigirimana, encouraged the public to embrace the key principles outlined in the book.
It's the exploration on the skill of combining the power of sex to the important infrastructure that oils the wheels of marriage. Instead of offering leadership, you are posing around, you are a man, but who doesn't know you are a man? Just provide leadership. Leadership is the ability to inspire, to influence, and to model the way, so that you actually prove you are a man.
The principal judge, Lady Justice Jane Francis Abodo, said the publication will strengthen family structures.
It takes courage to write on subjects that touch the most private aspects of our lives, especially subjects that many of us acknowledge privately, because it was written to help, to strengthen families, to improve relationships, and to speak honestly about things.
The Naked Truth, described as an extension of Dr. Bigirimana's earlier work, explores intimacy and responsibility in marriage, emphasizing mutual commitment between partners.
He observes that when identity in a home is not clear, roles become competition. And I have said that unless husbands are supposed to provide security, defense of the home, and also play some roles of foreign affairs, and in some cases provide finances, although educated women also can provide all those things. But traditionally, that's what it used to be.
Rebecca Nantongo, Dora Namamonde, for UBC News.
Government has promised to compensate traders whose merchandise was affected by floods within the last 3 weeks. The president of the Federation of Uganda Traders Associations, John Kabanda, told the media that all negotiations with the relevant authorities have been concluded.
The president of the Federation of Uganda Traders Association, John Kabanda, has told the media that all negotiations with the relevant authorities have been concluded. Last year, merchandise belonging to traders operating in various buildings in Kampala was affected by floods. They put pressure on government, announcing plans to stage a protest if compensation for losses incurred during last year's floods was not met. They issued a 2-week ultimatum and vowed to protest on March 25th, 2026.
I'm speaking to you today to urge you to call off the planned demonstration.
However, the national traders leader under their umbrella, Federation of Uganda Traders Association, John Kabanda, told the media that following meetings with FUTA and key stakeholders, including the Minister of Finance and KCCA, an agreement was reached.
We have been in talks with the authorities, and I'm pleased to inform you that the government has confirmed the release of the promised funds in these 3 weeks. In the 3 weeks,
I would like to call upon the government and other authorities at least to quicken the compensation so that these traders, at least they can work upon their problem.
Compensation funds for those affected by the October and November 2025 floods will be released within 3 weeks.
We understand your frustration, but let's give the government time to deliver on their commitment.
The criteria used to identify and verify more than 1,000 beneficiaries who will receive part of the 20 billion shillings allocated for compensation was also highlighted.
Bebaza Katonda nti mu kuvetinga engeri gye bavetinzeemu bakakasizza nti kye twakola ng'akakiiko aka vetting committee kyavuddemu bulungi kubanga twawandiika nga tulaga erinnya ly'omuntu, edduuka ly'omuntu wabadde akolera oba akameeme ke era nga tumulaga nti wano wabadde akolera, tubadde tuwandiika nniini nnamba.
However, traders raised concerns over some landlords who exploit them through high rent charges and expensive electricity bills.
We are not in war with you, but we just want to raise our concern and to get justice. we want you to at least decrease on the rent you impose.
Traders at Katwe Market are beginning to rebuild their lives after a devastating fire reduced their businesses to ashes last week, leaving many counting heavy losses and uncertain about the future. In response to their distress, President Museveni has extended support through his special presidential envoy on Buganda affairs, Joseph Sewava.
The president is here with you. The president will cry with you.
While handing over the items, Sewava delivered the president's message of sympathy to the victims, acknowledging the pain and losses they suffered. He urged traders to use the iron sheets and reconstruct their stalls to resume work.
The president has contributed 200 iron sheets.
The fire, which broke out late at night, destroyed several businesses. Many traders, overwhelmed with emotion, had earlier appealed to government to urgently intervene, citing heavy losses, some tied to bank loans. Among the most affected were traditional herbalists, whose leader expressed determination to support fellow traders despite the setback. He cautioned against individuals who claim leadership positions but fail to assist people in times of crisis. Traders, led by their chairman, welcome the government's support. They described the donation as a timely intervention, although some traders raised concern about lack of electricity in the market, which has not yet been restored since the fire. Irene Faith Nantongo, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
Kampala City is taking a digital step to tackle the growing threat of flash floods. Government, together with international partners, has unveiled a new application designed to improve early warning and response systems.
Government and development agencies, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Netherlands and World Meteorological Organization have introduced a digital application to control flash floods in Kampala. It follows rising flood incidents that have caused death and destruction of property.
Kampala has been chosen because of the growing number of flash floods in the past year in this city. And it's very important that these flash floods are impacting socio-economical activities, and because of that Kampala has been selected to ensure that there is a urban flash flood forecasting system available.
And when we look at what are the challenges to create an early warning system, it is really getting the local information in these modeling efforts. And combined, the challenge is to get timely warning information to people on the ground so they have enough time to act.
During a regional training workshop on urban flash flood forecasting systems in Kampala, experts said the app's ability will provide real-time data and timely alerts.
Looking at when is an event happening and how is this going to impact the local city. The question on whether these local constructions influence flash floods, the answer is yes, but that is something that required really detailed modeling studies, where even before you start construction, you already add such a building to a model and you calculate what happens to the flash flood.
A global consultant on water and climate explained that flash floods occur suddenly with little warning.
With urban flash floods, it all happens within 6 hours. So you really need to have timely information now and a forecast for the next 6 hours to understand whether a flash flood will happen. So we're going to create an online application where the National Meteorology Department and the Hydromet agencies, they can look at this information and then determine whether they want to disseminate a warning, yes or no.
An Adaptation Fund project officer, Ramesh Tripathi, noted the platform will improve forecasting accuracy and support authorities in mitigating risks.
Understand about the potential flood impacts in the different cities that we have selected for development of urban flash flood forecasting system.
Rebecca Nantongo for UBC News.
And at this point, we'll take a very short break. Please keep it with us.
So, Muchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Uganda, get ready for an unforgettable experience. Join thousands of runners and culture lovers at the Mbarara City Marathon 2026, happening Saturday, the 28th of March 2026, starting at 6 a.m. at Mogaba Palace, Kamukuzi in Mbarara City. This year's theme proudly celebrates the biggest culture and heritage of the long-horned cattle in the land of honey and milk, a symbol of identity, pride, and tradition in Uganda. Come and run through the cultural heartland where heritage meets tourism and sport. Choose your race: 42 kilometers, 21 kilometers, 10 kilometers, or 5 kilometers. The guest of honor will be the Minister for Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, highlighting Uganda's rich culture and tourism. Register today and get your marathon kit at www.mbararacitymarathon.com or dial *272*11#. Proudly sponsored by Tusker Light, Grace and Family Concepts, Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Uganda, Nyakayojo Sacco, Explore Uganda, Textile and Prom Home, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Mbarara Farm Lodge, Country Cinema, Arch Motors, and many more. For more information, call 0785 408 422. Mbarara City Marathon 2026, running to celebrate the culture and heritage of the long-horned cattle in the land of honey and milk.
UBC News tonight. State House Comptroller Jen Bareche has warned students against engaging in risky behaviors, saying that they have hindered many young people from achieving their goals. Bareche made the remarks while officially opening a week-long patriotism training program at Chitebi Senior Secondary School.
More than 3,000 students from Senior 1 to Senior 6 at Chitebi Secondary School in Rubaga Division, Kampala, have commenced a patriotism training program aimed at instilling discipline, responsibility, and national values. The program was officially opened by State House Controller Jen Bareche.
And I declare this program opened. So grateful as the Chitebi community for all the things that you have provided to us, starting from the bus that is the transport in our school, the building that you are going to place into our school that is going to help us to create a convenient environment for our studies.
More than 3,000
studies. I cannot forget to thank the only one president of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tibuhaburwa Sava Akinki Nyalwenyo, the only general we have in Uganda. I want to thank him for being the greatest man of all the season.
Bareche warned the students against engaging in risky behaviors which obstruct young people from achieving their goals. She cautioned students against harmful relationships, indiscipline, and disobedience to school authorities.
Subanayo, thank you so much. We don't take this one for granted. Children also, thank you so much for coming to attend this program. It is not going to leave you the same. Are we together? Stop coupling, stop misbehaving, avoid groups of drugs, listen to your teachers, love yourselves, and love your country.
Bareche also highlighted various government programs for empowering and supporting youth personal development.
Among them, we talked about skilling, we talked about development of a girl child, we talked about leadership, we talked about discipline, and so many other things. So I was telling them about the programs that the president put in place in order for the youth to make themselves economically viable.
The Assistant Commissioner in charge of Training, Information and Communication, Richard Oruhanga, said the training focuses on building patriotism, discipline and awareness among students.
School, we really appreciate the head teacher. There are schools which do not open doors for us to enter and train, but we thank Chitebe SS who invited us. So our plan is to have these 3,000 young people trained in 7 days, and they will pass out on Friday, and by Friday they will have been transformed because we have prepared a good package for them from very good generals, doctors.
The head teacher of Kitebi Secondary School and coordinator of patriotism clubs in Rubaga Division, Haj Mohammed Kamulegea, described the initiative as a timely intervention to address challenges affecting learners.
If you can't love yourself, you can't love your neighbor, you can't love the community where you are, you can't love your country, and you can't love the world. So we are giving it all. It's a core solution to every problem a person will have. The only way a person will survive in the world is by considering your neighbors and loving your country. Everything can be perfect local.
The Patriotism Training Program equips students with values for responsible citizenship.
Regional leaders in the water sector are in Ethiopia for a hydro diplomacy conference to build consensus on water governance and cooperation in the Nile Basin. The conference is on the theme, where water flows, equality grows.
7 Greater Lakes.
The Hydro Diplomacy Conference in Bishoftu, Ethiopia, has set a stage for regional leaders to call for cooperation in managing transboundary water resources.
We have shared water, we have people, we have shared resources. But things are going wrong. We try to analyze among member states, experience of Uganda, experience of Egypt, experience of Sudan, experience of Ethiopia. One of the critical points, the weakness we identified is we are not scientifically communicating.
Uganda is represented by the Minister of State for Environment, Beatrice Anywar.
It is also requires us to look beyond individual basins and embrace broader perspective of shared water governance across Africa, where lessons, experiences, and innovations can be exchanged for mutual benefits. Uganda remains committed to working with all the Nile Basin countries and partners to advance an inclusive, cooperative, and sustainable framework for managing our shared water resources.
In Africa, over 3 billion people depend on transboundary water resources, and the Nile Basin supports over 300 million people. Minister Anywar says, in the face of climate change and population growth, ensuring sustainable utilization of such resources requires cooperation rather than competition.
We are talking about the water, the product. It's critical that we protect the watershed, we conserve the environment, because the effect of climate change has brought about uncertainty. You cannot say that we used to have so much water and we still want to have the same amount of water. without taking in effect of climate change. Because climate change changed everything. It is causing drought, it's causing floods. So let's also focus for us to benefit equitably without hassle and enough resource by protecting the watershed, by balancing between development and conservation of our natural resource, so that the effect of climate change does not cause us so much uncertainty, which we should not even blame on each other.
We need to respect the water resources, the water users. There's no first class, second class, and third class citizen when it comes to water resources or water management.
The Soluta Hydro Diplomacy and Regional Cooperation coincided with the World Water Day celebrations. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News, in Bishoftu, Ethiopia.
At least 90 learners, including visually impaired ones and youth from informal settlements, have graduated with vocational skills at Gaba Community Project in Wakiso District.
The beneficiaries, many of them blind, were trained in cookery, sweater knitting, and entrepreneurship.
For us as a school, our children are moving into secondary level, but on the part of the community, which we are empowering, they are able to fend for themselves, which is important. The children can go to school, they can pay their bills, they are improving their socioeconomic well-being.
The program, which started during the COVID-19 lockdown, has evolved into a community lifetime targeting both persons with disabilities and youth.
CIVIC stands for Center for Visually Impaired Children. In that, our focus is on the blind people, where we are educating children at primary level and vocational, especially those who cannot access classes or formal education. But most importantly is the fact that poverty has no boundaries. So the community, focusing on women and the youth, in as far as employment is concerned, but again the disabled, such that they are not relegated to begging, but to be self-reliant, productive, and self-sustaining in the community.
The learners combined braille literacy with hands-on training, producing items such as school sweaters, now supplied to nearby institutions.
Somebody getting the skills, he has been given a toolkit, so that they are able to put in use what they have been trained on. So I believe that the youth are ready to start their work, and they will not just put the skills at rest, since they have the tools to do the work. And this is a great initiative.
Graduates have also received basic business skills to help them earn a living.
Well, I think that a bit of that is in their hands. You cannot ensure it 100%, but for us we have been training them also on that, on having the confidence and the fight for their future, and also we provide with a kit for them to start their own business. And I think in the moment they start realizing that they can have their future in their own hands, there is no way they can leave it inside and just forget about everything that they have learned here.
Leaders are now calling for stronger community and market support to ensure the sustainability of the initiative.
There were many challenges that you incurred. We had our problems and our issues. You know them, but thank you for being strong and ensuring that you study and you complete successfully.
For UBC News, I am Sudat Kaye.
Efforts to improve the safety and quality of herbal medicine in the Teso sub-region have received a boost after Moroto University allocated 10 acres of land to support the cultivation of medicinal plants.
The Drug Authority has launched a campaign to streamline the herbal medicine sector in Teso, focusing on improving safety, quality and regulation of widely used herbal products. Herbalists have undergone training to enhance product safety with emphasis on registration and proper documentation.
We have 1,500 herbalists in Teso.
Teso region, all these districts. Those ones who have come to me as chairman, and those ones I know. But there are others, those ones who are still hiding, they don't want to show up. I think we are more than that. But the one I know, there are 1,500. My message to the herbalists, I want them to come up. They should not hide, because government is doing tirelessly to see that they promote herbal medicine and they also promote herbalists.
Emmanuel Ekodeu, the district drug inspector, says the university's land allocation will help improve the quality and consistency of herbal medicine.
We are talking about licensing and registration of your practice. Very important. Let's get registered. When you are registered and somebody dies in your facility, the first question is, what's the facility license?
Jennifer Aujo, the acting regional inspector of drugs, has warned against the production of unverified herbal medicines, citing the rise in counterfeit products.
Also come to know that there are herbalists that are not true herbalists. They mix conventional drugs with with the herbs. Take for example, somebody buys Viagra and mixes it with some herbs and calls it manpower. So this drug is not known the dosage now, because we cannot tell the quantity of Viagra he has put in the powders or in the mixtures.
Meanwhile, NDS says only a handful of herbalists in the region are formally registered.
I've had 3 herbalists from Teso. There's one who has, so far, who is notified. I will have a number of their products. That is, I think you all know Professor Guan. He has a number of products that we have notified, that are notified with us. But now there are others, these ones that we have been taking through, who are trying to make their products notified with us.
Chairperson of Teso Herbalists, Dr. Waiswa Saidi Ambali, welcomed the initiative but raised concerns over protecting indigenous knowledge.
Because when you reveal all the ingredients you use, you will find that we are not keeping our work. It's keeping theory of herbal medicine in Africa, not only Uganda, because we are not hiding it from National Drug Authority, from our Ugandan citizen. We are hiding it from Western countries, because as you saw, pandemic came, we're all waiting the vaccine to come from abroad.
Ministry of Education and Sports, through River Flow International, has trained teachers in Ginger and on how to use science kits.
Now, we have this
Teachers confess that they have previously faced challenges in teaching abstracts, where some pupils, especially slow learners, fail to understand, hence leading to poor performance in science. They commended the Ministry of Education and Sports for collaborating with River Flow International to enhance the teaching of science, using science kits, a scenario that promotes learners' participation and better understanding.
No, it has not been easy for the learner to understand, because when a learner touches, it helps her to understand easily. So I've been facing that challenge of making them to understand. So now I know I can use them and it can help them to understand well when I'm teaching.
We have been having a lot of words to explain to learners so they may understand. Another challenge that we have been having, very few only gifted learners may pick what you are teaching during that lesson.
The Science Outreach Officer, Riverflow International, Nebat Avigaba, said they are training teachers to improve.
Ginger District and Ginger City received science kits in the financial year 2025-2026. And when they receive the science kits, they are followed by the training. So today, I'm in Ginger, training teachers on how to use the items in the science kit. Our training is practical, it's not theory. We are checking what do we have in the kit and how can we use it in the teaching and learning process.
I request the ministry to bring more science kits in some schools which have not got, because I heard that they brought only 20 for 20 schools. So some schools are also missing, whereby they are also learning science. So if they bring more, it will help us, it will help our learners to understand more about science.
To show learners how to look like, we always talk about being colored inside.
but we want to show them it is possible. What we have been thinking.
Mama, owulira otya?
Mpulira essanyu lingi nnyo.
Bannange.
Bannange MTN neyanzizza.
Taata w'omwana ogenda mugambako oba waali wano?
Taliiwo.
Ssente ze mbadde ngenda okusasula ku school fees z'omukulu zigenda kunnyambako okuweerera batoobe abalala ababiri. MTN mama ngenkoledde kinene ng'asinga omumaama sirigyerabira obulamu bwange bwonna.
Genda kusibya kusasula school fees nyiga star 155 star 80 ashi sasula school fees ngokozesa momo school funds masomo tugenda zigaba osobola okwewola waliwo school fees loan genda ofune loan oba tolinawo ssente ozisasule mu bbanga mpola mpola obulamu butambulenga buli koona.
Uganda, get ready for an unforgettable experience. Join thousands of runners and culture lovers at the Mbarara City Marathon 2026 happening Saturday, the 28th of March 2026, starting at 6 a.m. at Mogaba Palace, Kamukuzi in Mbarara City. This year's theme proudly celebrates the biggest culture and heritage of the long-horned cattle in the land of honey and milk, a symbol of identity, pride, and tradition in Uganda. Come and run through the cultural heartland where heritage meets tourism and sport. Choose your race: 42 kilometers, 21 kilometers, 10 kilometers, or 5 kilometers. The guest of honor will be the Minister for Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, highlighting Uganda's rich culture and tourism. Register today and get your marathon kit at www.mbararacitymarathon.com or dial *272 *11#. Proudly sponsored by Tascalite, Grace and Family Concepts, Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Uganda, Nyakayojo Sako, Explore Uganda, Textile and Prom Home, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Mbarara Farm Lodge, Country Cinema, Arch Motors, and many more. For more information, call 0785 408 422. Mbarara City Marathon 2026, running to celebrate the culture and heritage of the long-horned cattle in the land of honey and milk.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
UBC Business News tonight. Stakeholders in Uganda's nuclear energy sector have appealed to government on fast-tracking compensations, strengthen public sensitization, and address information gaps for the Buyende nuclear power project progress. They warn that while nuclear energy is key to Uganda's long-term industrialization goals, delays in compensation and limited public awareness could erode public trust.
Uganda's nuclear energy program targets up to 24,000 megawatts of installed capacity in the long term, with Buyende district earmarked for the country's first nuclear power plant. The project will begin with a demonstration reactor before scaling up to about 84,000 megawatts, with an initial 1,000 megawatts planned for connection to the national grid by 2031. At a stakeholder sending session in Kampala, WePlanet Africa coordinator Patricia Nanteza called for a centralized platform to provide accurate and sensible information in nuclear energy.
We do not want to develop an engagement roadmap that does not speak to the real concerns of the people. We wanted to hear what do the people want to understand so that we find the right information and then provide it to them. The community in which the nuclear power plant is going to be constructed urgently need real money, cash. They want to be compensated for their land so that they move on and their life stops being at a standstill. So we call upon the government to actually address this issue in the immediate, in the now. Let the people know how much are they going to be compensated per acre, per half acre, and then release that money so that they can go on, move on with their lives, and the construction of the nuclear power plant can also start.
A member of the East African Legislative Assembly, Veronica Babide Kadogo, said nuclear energy will help Uganda meet rising electricity demand.
Kubeera nga balina amasanyalaze buli kaseera n'ensonga ey'okukendeezaako bbeeyi kubanga amasanyalaze ga bbeeyi omuntu wa bulijjo tafuna amasanyalaze naye nuclear plant enaaba ezimbiddwa amasanyalaze megawatts zigenda kweyongerako amasanyalaze gabeere mangi nga tegavaako buli kaseera.
Buyende District Woman MP-elect Sarah Namulondo said compensation uncertainties have disrupted daily life.
Abantu bamanyisibwe ekigenda mu maaso, abantu basasulibwe kubanga bwe balwawo okusasulwa jjukira ettaka buli lukya lyeyongera value, lyeyongera bbeeyi. Ekintu bakyanguye abantu bamanye ngenda ddi kubanga kati district ekugamba nti amakubo ge yago mu kyalo tebakyagakola, nayikonta tebakyazirongoosa, bamanye nti saawa yonna abantu bavaawo. So ngamba abantu beeraliikirivu, tebamanyi kiddako, tebamanyi gye balaga, so nsaba bayambibwe.
Rebecca Natongo, Susan Nabgude for UBC News.
The insurance sector has been highlighted as a key pillar in securing a stable and sustainable future for Ugandans. The Chief Executive Officer of the Insurance Regulatory Authority, Kaduna Birubega, at the opening of the annual Insurance Week at Constitutional Square in Kampala, said that the initiative connects players in the sector with the public on a wide range of benefits.
The Chief Executive Officer, Insurance Regulatory Authority, Dr. Alhaj Kaduna Birubega, says members of the public can better understand the dynamics of the insurance industry. He was officially opening the 2026 Annual Insurance Week on the theme, Future Elikushua, Be Insured.
We are encouraged to have Insurance Week is because when we move out of the offices and come to the public, the response has been that people have benefited by visiting the various stalls and they have been explained what insurance is all about. This is a good initiative which we started about 5 to 6 years ago.
The regulator emphasized the importance of insurance for people from all walks of life, noting that there are a variety of insurance products tailored to meet the needs of different segments of the population.
Ugandans need insurance as a backbone of the stable and secure future. When Ugandans embrace insurance, they gain peace of mind, they gain protection against the unexpected risks, and indeed their confidence this brings to safeguarding their hard-earned earnings.
Despite insurance uptake in Uganda being low, initiatives like the annual Insurance Week, which take insurance services from boardrooms to the streets, will enhance public awareness, particularly among ordinary citizens.
We've gotten a chance as insurers to get to the people that we insure. Let us build the momentum. Let us not waste this chance and get back to our offices and relax.
The association has decided to focus on the digital sticker system. With the introduction of the digital motor third-party insurance system, motorists can now verify the insurance instantly. It has also eliminated fraud, and people can now buy insurance seamlessly using their phones.
Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
And in our local sports, local and international sports, FIFA continues with its women football development. The under-17 national team continues with AFCON preparations, while FIFA sends strong message ahead of the FIFA 2026 World Cup in the US.
The Uganda under-17 national team, the Cubs, continue to intensify preparation for the upcoming AFCON under-17 tournament in Morocco, with training ongoing at the FIFA Technical Center in Jeru.
It is a great honor that we are here. So far we have trained for 2 weeks, and in those 2 weeks we have had 2 practice matches. Technically, if I compare this first practice match and the second one was a bit better than the first one, because in the second practice match we scored a lot of goals. And as we look forward to the AFCON as the team and our coaches, we have our own goal, that is reaching the World Cup.
In the domestic scene, Kampala Queens FC secured a 2-0 victory over Uganda Matters High School Lubaga Women's FC in the Uganda Women's Super League, boasting their title charge.
Squad the last time Kampala Queens visited the St. Gerard's grounds in Lubaga, and once again brilliantly finding the back of the nets.
On the international stage, Manchester City defeated Arsenal FC, continuing their dominance in England.
O'Reilly for number 2, Nico O'Reilly, born and bred through the academy. Has he won the Carabao Cup for Manchester City? Have gone on the base of this famous old trophy. And the Blues are the Carabao Cup winners of 2026.
Attention has also turned to the 2026 World Cup, where FIFA is facing pressure amid the ongoing Iran conflict. Iran's participation remains uncertain due to security concern following recent war tensions, with the country even considering withdrawing and requesting matches to be moved out of the United States. However, FIFA has maintained that the tournament will proceed as scheduled, while emphasizing that football should unite nations during difficult times. Elsewhere in Spain, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid faced off in a heated derby.
With the sports roundup, we come to the end of all we had for you tonight. Thanking you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakuna and the whole team. Wish you the best of the night and the week ahead. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios
in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial